Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar for innkeepers and hoteliers, where we're going to talk about smart ways to book more guests on hotel and inn websites. And we're Webdirexion. We're going to look specifically at gathering more leads with smartly optimized landing pages and how to take advantage of a great booking system with some unique promotional options, and that would be CHECKFRONT. First, let's find out who's behind Webdirexion. We're an online marketing agency with a focus on creating and optimizing resort, hotel, and inn marketing and websites with integrated cloud booking services. I'm Scott Frangos. I'll be your host today. I'm the chief optimizer with a career in marketing and an old-time ad guy. I've also recent author of the CRO guide, which we'll talk a little bit about, and I've been working in the niche of hotels and inns for marketing for about 17 years. Margot Hall also works with us at Webdirexion. She's a content strategist, and she edited the CRO guide, and she specializes in travel and hospitality. And that's me. Hello everyone. There's Margot, and the book I mentioned is The Marketer's Concise Guide to CRO, that's Conversion Rate Optimization, which is what we're going to be talking about today, and we'll have some giveaways for you. Also joining us is Alex from CHECKFRONT. And what is CHECKFRONT? It's a one-stop shop to manage and grow your bookings online, walk-ins, phone, and third-party websites. You can accept real-time bookings on your own website, on Facebook, on TripAdvisor, and other channels, and never worry about overbooking again. You'll look awesome on any device. It's 100% mobile and tablet ready, and we have a marketing agreement with CHECKFRONT, and we love them for all of these points that are being mentioned. Integrate, there's a ton of integrations, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but you can integrate into the popular services like MailChimp, Facebook, TripAdvisor, and many more. Here's Alex. And he's going to be giving away a CHECKFRONT account configuration plus 25% off in the first year from CHECKFRONT. Thank you, Alex. First, some stats, depending on what kind of property you are. And this is from P.A.I.I, Professional Association of Innkeepers International. About 43.7% average occupancy for B&B inns, according to a survey they took with a $150 average daily rate. Then if we look at the American Hotel and Lodging Association, we see about 62% average there. And what we want to do is talk about some ways to boost that average, even if you're up 10% or even 20% from that. You can always use 10% more bookings, right? 10 to 20. So let's look at some ways to do that. One of the ways I like to talk about is try leveraging your blog content. That's triple leveraging. Where number one, you can write regular posts, blog posts keyed to SEO terms. Okay, a lot of you have blogs. I know it's hard to keep it up, but maybe this will give you a little incentive to stay doing that. Then what you want to do is set them to automatically push out on your social media accounts, so you can kind of set it and forget it. And then number three for the try leverage tip and tactic is to use a newsletter service to send posts automatically via email. And you set number 2 and 3 automatically, and here are some services that you can check out. Buffer is one that does this. Hootsuite is one that we've used, and also Concierge from Deliverit is still another way to do it. Buffer is free, and they also, I believe, have a new paid plan Hootsuite starts at $10 a month. Concierge has a variety of plans, and we do some work with them on those plans, so you can always contact us if you have a question. For newsletters, a lot of people in P.A.I.I that I've talked to have used Constant Contact. Some use MailChimp. We tend to use MailChimp a lot. When you don't mind which one you use, they're both very similar. Constant Contact starts at $20 a month. MailChimp is free up to 2,000 sends a month, to 2,000 contact records. And the key is to write regular blog posts. And I know busy people in the industry are wearing a lot of hats, but if you can get disciplined about it, that would be good, because you're going to get found and you're going to connect with people on a regular basis. Here's another one. And Margot, I think you're muted and are unable to comment, but I know you had some ideas on it, and I'll try to factor those in. So there's an old saying in principle in the advertising business: sell the sizzle, not the steak. And the steak is your product, your hotel or inn, and the sizzle is what people enjoy by using your product. So it's really easy to get a picture of your inn. You just go outside, and then you have a picture of the steak. And it looks welcoming and all that. That's true. But what I'd like to encourage you to do is spend some time to get people pictures of people actually enjoying the inn. And you're cooking, of course, bed and breakfast inns. It could be wine tasting that you have. Some experience showing emotion, because emotion sells and it's persuasive. People connect with visual emotion. So there's a tip for you. You know, partner up with a good photographer in your area, and, you know, they can come to the inn if you have weddings there and get some more business. And in the meantime, get your family and friends and a wine tasting and show some emotion. So then in social media, I like to think of them, social media venues, Twitter, Facebook, etc., as trade show booths in a way. And do you have a presence in the major social venues? We see a lot of websites and social media venues where maybe you're just centric on Facebook, but you have an opportunity to be on the other networks. Once again, you can set it and forget it. If you're writing blog posts, it'll automatically grab the blog post and push it out to social media. Now, one other point for you: you can also set your social media accounts to pick up and retweet other important things in the area, like, say local travel tours, websites, anyone that's putting out an RSS feed, maybe vineyards in the area, maybe your local chamber of commerce, you can set that to go out too. So you ask yourself, what's your weekly strategy to not only appear but engage? And by engage, if you retweet or someone retweets you and then you respond, that's a way to start contacting other people. And it ideally is potential people, visitors and guests, but also allied businesses in the area. Here's another idea for you: sell different sizzles on each network. Here's a property called the Balch Hotel, and they're showing a classy wedding, right? There's a Rolls Royce, if you look closely at the automobile in the background, parked out front. And then on another network, they're talking about business retreats. So they're taking the opportunity to show a different aspect on the two different networks, gaining awareness and connecting when and where they can. Now, there are different benefits in different social venues that you could present. And here's another example. Here's the Eden Wild. They do sell the steak, but it's kind of sizzling at the right time. So they're showing a picture they're in at the top, right? But they've got really nice photography, and it's very well lit, so it looks very welcoming. You can see all that golden light at about sunset. And then on the other networks, they're bringing out some other points about the inn. They're showing the cooking. If you look on the right, there's even one of those triangles for a video that can be played. And then, of course, they're showing the weddings. And I like it that they're bringing out the idea that they'll set up outside for the appropriate event. A lot of people wouldn't realize that until they saw the picture. So we've got awareness, and we've got different aspects, different sizzles, if you will, from the end. Now, this is a main point that I see a lot of opportunity for you that are spending the time to watch our webinar. Capture prospective guests before they leave. They may not have reserved with you, but they've come to your site. And I told you I wrote a book on CRO, that's conversion rate optimization. That just means getting a lead. Let's make it simple like that. Conversion is a technical term meaning when a visitor converts to a lead or takes a step toward doing business with you before they leave. So you could optimize your landing pages. And we're going to give away one of those to our viewers today. And some important elements that we've seen missing from a lot of hotel and inn websites. First of all, a landing page with incentives. Now, some inns will have this, and they'll talk about a Valentine's Day special and different specials, romantic getaway special, and so forth. But then what very few do is ask people, and CTA is an acronym that stands for call to action, will ask people to fill out a form on the landing page and get on the list for some specials that you can send to them, and maybe they'll have a free gift code, maybe there'll be room discounts that aren't on the website. We know that under rules with OTAs, you can't publish rates less than your agreement with an online travel agency like hotels.com, but you could send it to them by email, and you could tell them that, get on our list, and we'll send you special promotions, tour information in the area. Maybe there's a free drink night if you have a bar area in your property. Why is your property the place to stay? Okay, remember to give a clear value proposition, because most people are likely opening, just like any of us would do, 3 or 4 tabs and comparing. So they're looking at the area. Why is your area the place to stay? You're kind of assuming they'll find that on your website, but they might not. It's always good to restate it on a landing page. So one of the people that I know signed up for this webinar went and looked at a really nice page, and they've done a real nice job on the site. I think that's Steve, who I saw on the watching just now. And he's got a great page where he talks about specials and packages. It's almost there. Now, if he just asks people to get on the list and gives them incentive to do it, to capture their email, then you can remind them. You can tell them you'll send them some room special prices not found online. And you'll get leads. And I see very, very few, I've maybe seen 1 or 2% of, and I've probably looked at several hundred in the last 3 or 4 months that are doing that. So you can stand out from the competition, build a list, and it might help you during the off season or shoulder season to sell more rooms. So here's another example from an actual client that we have, where they have 3 different promotions, and they list them here, and then there's a form where they can ask for more information on any one of the 3 promotions, right? And there's just enough to get them interested, but they usually want more information. I'm going to say we've been running this for about 3 or 4 weeks, and there's probably 30 different signups to get more information. And then if they find the right one, they're going to come to the hotel, and if they're going to wait till later, they can send them more information and ideas about what to do all throughout the year. So one mantra that I have in the book on CRO is test, analyze, then test again, right? So it's conversion rate optimization, which means you can test a landing page, right? You can have what's called an A/B test, the A version of your landing page versus the B version of your landing page, and see which one works and doesn't work so well. You might even test and look for your online booking processes easy on mobile devices. Which photos are most compelling? Then there's a couple of A/B testing software for the do-it-yourselfers and technical people. Google Analytics has one built in called Content Experiments. It is free to use right now. I heard they're going to a freemium model where they'll have some upgrades and they'll charge you a little bit, but it's free for now. Visual Website Optimizer is one of several that we've reviewed and used. It's paid at about $49 a month, I want to say. This will help increase your leads because sometimes just the change in a headline or a graphic or how you ask them to do something will increase your results. So let's look at an actual A/B test, and this is in the book, by the way. This was the A version of a page. And this was actually before the hotel was completed, but they had some condos in which you could stay. We wanted to get people to come down and enjoy a 3-night stay in the luxurious condos. So we thought about this and went through all the thought process. What should we test? Headline, body copy, and so forth. And if you look back here, look at the picture up by the headline. The little picture is just showing the hotel. Now, you've been trained already, right? So you know one thing we could improve on. We're showing the steak, right? So you already know one thing we could test. And our premise, and you usually have a premise with all tests, we can win more leads. And with the method, we're going to use an A/B test, which means every other person that comes to the website sees a different page, either A or B. So 50% of the people that come see version A, 50% see version B, and the software swaps it out and counts how many people fill out the lead form. And the elements we're going to test: headline, graphic, and copy. We double the lead results in this test, and one of the things we did is we used what I call a magic word, and that's the word win. There are a series of words, and this will make sense to you just for human behavior, like win, prize, special, etc., that capture people's attention and get them interested in winning something, right? So we use that as word number 1 in the headline. The other thing we did is we had a video available that not only showed the steak, the hotel, but it showed people in the hotel, in the pool area, and there's actually a casino at this hotel. It showed them enjoying their time there. So we had a sizzle video, and that helped a lot. And we doubled the results. Now another tip for you is to make your OTA play pay. And I know a lot of innkeepers and hoteliers that have a love-hate relationship with OTAs. So they're out there and they get a lot of eyes. So here's some reasons you want to consider your OTA play and make it pay. You can get a billboard effect. And the billboard effect means you're seen there, of course. But another advantage is, you know, and I know one of the hate relationships is you don't want to pay them the 15%, 10 to 15, 20% that they charge. Well, a lot of the people that see you there, studies have shown, this is good news for the billboard on an OTA like hotels.com, will come to your site and want to sign up there. So you'll actually get some non-commissioned bookings by people that see you on an OTA and then come to your site and book. And of course, reviews and ratings are important. Then if you can get real-time inventory updates, that's really good, right? And depending on your booking system, you should be able to do some of that. Now, one of the things we like a lot about CHECKFRONT is that it integrates with a program called My Allocator that updates all of your OTAs that you've signed up for and gives you one dashboard and one place to do that. It integrates with CHECKFRONT. So what you see is a calendar, and if you were on Expedia, Booking.com, Airbnb, Hotels.com, TripAdvisor, and some of the others, you would see all of them on one calendar. And you not only get found, but you would get bookings, right? So we've been talking about CHECKFRONT, and we have a marketing agreement with them. And why did we pick them out of all the ones that are out there? Well, we know about some other well-known names like Reservation and ResNexus and so forth. But when we compared, we found 5 things and probably more. And Alex, I'm going to try to hook you up here in a minute so that you can unmute and tell us more about it. But here were things that Margot and I really liked about it when we were reviewing. And Alex will tell us a little bit more about CHECKFRONT. It's the best mobile integration we've seen. And this is a subtle point, but it's important if you know about SEO. When you use CHECKFRONT, all of the checkout process happens on your own domain. So like the client I was talking about a moment ago, Cross Casino Resort, if they were using CHECKFRONT, they're not yet, but if they were using it, it would all happen on their domain name, crosscasinoresort.com. It automatically syncs to sites such as Booking.com, Expedia, Airbnb, and more with automatic updates using the My Allocator integration, and embeds your room book. It gives you a widget, a chunk of code that you can give to other allies in town, like an event site or a tour operator, or if you don't have a restaurant you want to partner up with, they have a website. They can show your room booking on their site, and then you can reward them with commission for doing that and getting bookings on their own site for you. There's a lot of integrations, marketing integrations that help you do all the things we've been talking about. MailChimp is an integration, TripAdvisor, Facebook, get bookings on Facebook. Vend is a system by which you can use if you have a gift shop or a coffee shop, and then it integrates with CHECKFRONT and they can put their coffee and their gifts all on the same bill. AdWords is Google AdWords, an advertising program, and it's all integrated, and we love that. You can add service upsells at checkout. That is, if you have a spa, or maybe you partner with a local masseuse, and you want to add that at checkout and upsell people and give them the option to buy some other items, you can do that. So you connect and you book and you streamline things all in one system. I hear you.
Hi guys. So as Scott said, my name is Alex, and I'm with the CHECKFRONT team. First, I want to thank you, Scott, for the very resourceful presentation, and also the team at Webdirexion for all the work that you did. So I will pick up from the last slide that you showed us, Scott, and let's get started and take quickly a look at my allocator, which is, as you mentioned, a big part of Hotelier's business is to get listed on those channels. Now, as an ex-hotelier myself, the challenge working with OTAs is to keep everything synchronized in one place, because if you don't have one channel manager, it will be very time consuming and risky, because you'll have to log into every OTA individually and update your inventory. Now, with our integration with my allocator, this update happens automatically. There is nothing you need to do once you activate it and you add all your channels. And a booking comes in, whether it's from an OTA or from your website, or it's a walk-in, for example, or a phone booking, everything is updated in real time. Now, this has two advantages: a managerial advantage. It cuts a lot of staff time needed to update all those websites. And from the other side, as Scott mentioned, it gives you more exposure. OTAs are expensive, agreed. I don't like them a lot, but as an ex-hotelier, I've used them religiously because I do believe in the billboard effect, and I've experienced this effect before. So thanks a lot, Scott, for mentioning that. Now, if I go back to this demo site, I just want to show you, give you an idea about how this does look. So from a front end perspective, this is how we'll see a hotel that is using CHECKFRONT. In here, we have multiple categories for this resort. If we go to rooms, for example, we can see rooms that are available, and we start a booking. Capture the information, continue. Now, all those fields and descriptions are customizable, of course. We can add, for example, I added a question here: how did you find us? So at the end of the month, I can evaluate our marketing channels. And the one feature that we've added recently, and it's been really helpful to a lot of our customers, is the customer login. So after creating a booking, the customer will get a login, and they can, if they want to cancel their booking or reschedule, they can just log back in and do that without having to call the hotel and keep their staff busy. Now, that's from a hosted booking page perspective. That is testing page provided by CHECKFRONT. Now, on a real website, I'm going to share with you some of our customers. We have the Aqua Wellness Resort, who has been using CHECKFRONT for quite a time. Let's go to their booking page, see how it looks. Now, also, as Scott mentioned, CHECKFRONT shows as part of your website. It is not a redirect, so everything happens on your own domain name. As you can see here, we are still on the Aqua Nicaragua website, and we see the CHECKFRONT booking options here that can be chosen. And also touching on the upsells that were mentioned in the slide before. They have an upsell here that is offered to us. If you want a transfer from the airport, we can add that to the booking and then check out. And now also another example, and this is our layout. So we do have two layouts. We have the classic layout that looks like this, and we have a newer layout that is more visual. And of course, those are standard layouts. Some of our customers choose to hire their own developers and create new layouts. It's totally possible using our APIs. Now this here works the same manner.
Alex, you can hear me, yes?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just going to shout out to everybody watching. If any of you want to, well, Alex is talking. If any of you want to type a question in, since I believe you're muted, I'm watching the chat and I'll make sure I ask Alex, or if it's something I can answer, I'll answer it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, Scott, for mentioning that. I opened the chat as well, so if anyone has questions, please feel free to ask. This is also another one of our longtime customers, Lahaina Accommodations in Maui. They also use our classic layout, as you can see here, and we can see here a live example of how the availability is updated in real time. We are now on their website, and we know that they're sold out for today on some of the properties and tomorrow well. So if we go to also Friday, the 6th of November, they are sold out. So to move back on to our operations side, so this is how the dashboard of CheckFront looks like. Now every staff member will get a dashboard and they can customize it with what they would like to see. You can see coming bookings, what you have for today, and you can definitely see your daily list, so you know who's going to come in which room they're going to, and if they have any other complementary products that you offer, or as Scott mentioned, that you resell from another partner, or say the tour company right across the street. You can see them right here. Inventory management is very flexible too. So any new item that we have, let's say that we've partnered with someone that we want to resell their activity, we can simply add it here using the item treated, and there is no work that needs to be done every time on the website. Once you integrate to the website once, and that's it. You don't need to edit the website every time. Anything that you create or edit in CheckFront will go live on the website right away. Unless, of course, you specify that this is a staff-only item, so it's for managerial purposes, then it will not show publicly on the website. Now, another big area that we really focus on in CheckFront are our add-ons, and those are integrations to other systems. There is multiple focuses. A lot of them are to make it easier for you to manage when you have multiple systems. You want them integrated. Others are meant to help you in your marketing or sales effort. For example, we can see here the MailChimp integration, and also we have the Constant Contact integration. So those are for email marketing. Any customer or guest who creates a booking on your website, or even they come in-house or via over the phone, you can capture their email address, and it's automatically added into your mailing list in Constant Contact or MailChimp, whichever you choose to use. So therefore, you don't have to worry about updating your list every time you want to send a blast to your customers. You'll simply just log into MailChimp, for example, create the email, and send it right away. You don't need to do any updates or move databases. Everything is kept up to date. There is also another component that is used a lot in email marketing by our customers, is the ability to create discounts. So I can very easily here create a discount and give a code. Say, for example, this example one has a code Facebook, and I can copy this code, paste it into the email, and blast our ex-customers that we're having, or for example, in January, if you realize that you don't have enough bookings, this is usually at that time, you can create a promotion, say 15% off, blast everyone that we have 15% off for January. You can place your booking now. And same on rooms, you can place rules on those discounts. So you can put a condition that you need to stay 2 nights, or this is only active from Monday to Friday. It doesn't work on weekends. There is a lot of options to customize packages like this. Other big integration that we have is TripAdvisor Connect, and that will connect your booking system, CHECKFRONT, directly to TripAdvisor. So if you've noticed when you land on your hotels or inns listing on TripAdvisor, now there is a call to action to book from TripAdvisor, and in most of the cases, it shows your listings or your prices from third-party OTAs. With this integration, CHECKFRONT or your official website will show as one of the options. So instead of you receiving that booking from Expedia, for example, or Booking.com and paying 25% commission, you will receive it through CHECKFRONT via Trip Connect. And the commission that TripAdvisor charged is much less, about 50 or 60% cheaper than what regular OTAs charge. Now, we do have other CRM integrations. If you use CRM for your sales, Facebook advertising that tracks e-commerce if you do any advertisement on Facebook. And we also have a Facebook booking page. So once this is activated, it will add a booking page, a booking tab on your Facebook page, so your fans can book directly on Facebook without even leaving it. Now, on this page, you see our various website integrations. I'm just going to quickly show you what Scott had mentioned about grabbing a quick code to integrate to your website or to give it to someone else to show your booking options. So right here, for example, if I want to display my cabins and rooms on a third-party website, what I will need to do is just select them, generate the code, copy it, paste it inside the website, and that's it. We're done. So it's as simple as that.
So you would, we would send that to the webmaster of the other site. Say if you do not have a restaurant, then a restaurant's partnering with you, or the Chamber of Commerce, or a tour company, and they would just paste that in behind the scenes, and your booking would appear pretty much like it looks on your own website, right, Alex?
Exactly. Exactly like it looks on your website. Now, definitely you can limit that. It's very flexible. Now, you can show some items and not show the rest, for example. But yeah, it looks the way how the layout works is it's going to look exactly as it is on your website, but it's going to be part of the third-party website. And in the same way, the integration to your own website works as well. So that same code can be used on your own website to do the integration. And as I said before, this code needs to be placed one time on the website, and then anything we update in CHECKFRONT goes live on the website in real time. We don't need to call the webmaster every time.
I haven't seen that in other systems, and they may well be trying to come up to speed on it or have some options, but I've looked very carefully at the others, and it's one of the reasons we're excited about the advanced features that CHECKFRONT offers.
Exactly. This was when we were capturing feedback from our existing customers. This was a big area that they spent time on, and it wasn't much of their staff time, but most of the time they have a hard time reaching their web designer, or their web designers move on sometime to do something else after a couple of years, and they want to update something. They don't have anyone. So that's why we got our system to a point where you only need to do the integration once, and that's it. Now, I still have a couple of other features that I want to show you guys. Now, again, this is just a quick overview. If any of you would like more details, feel free to get in touch with Scott or myself. We went over the customer accounts, and this is where you can see all your customer accounts and when they logged in, their booking histories. There is also partners. So partners are resellers that resell your products. Say, for example, that you're partnering with that restaurant next door, and they are reselling your product. They can place a booking for you either from their website or even log in to a specific CheckFront account for them. Place a booking, it flows right into your CheckFront account, and the commission that you input or decide when you create their account will be automatically calculated, and it will be generated in a report here. So you know at the end of the month or quarter how much commission you owe them and pay them out. Another small feature that a lot of our customers use are the notifications. Of course, those are automated emails that are very regular in every booking system. You get those emails that your reservation is confirmed, your payment is due now. Now, the one thing that CheckFront adds to the table is that there is a way to schedule emails. So one of the very successful emails that we've seen is "How was your stay?" And that's an email that is scheduled one day after the booking end date. So any booking that ends, the customer will receive this email one day after. And this is fully customizable. So that's just a quick test copy that I written. "Hi, customer first name," and this will be automatically replaced by the customer's first name when the email is sent. You can reply to us with your feedback, or you can leave us a review on TripAdvisor, and this links directly to their TripAdvisor page. So we've seen that emails like this have at least boosted our customers' reviews and ratings on TripAdvisor by 26 to 27%. In fact, we have one of our customers, he's local here in Victoria, British Columbia. This summer, they got to position #1 in their category on TripAdvisor. And the last part that I want to touch on is something that also Scott mentioned when he first started the slides, and it's selling the experience rather than selling the rooms or the accommodation. Now, that's something that was used before, but I think it's being more of a requirement now, especially with the market shifting and the entry of millennials into play. They are more looking to buy the experience rather than just a place to sleep, and which is why our system enables and empowers that by being flexible on the increments that are used. So with CheckFront, it is an accommodation system, but at the same time, it is a tour operator system and an activity operator system. So whether you want to add complementary products like city tours or activities from a park that is nearby and resell them, or we do have some resorts that offer those in-house. They do have departments that do activities and tours. They can all be handled in one place along with your accommodation, and they can be created with accommodation as packages, or they can be added as upsells or cross-sells, as we saw earlier in the airport transfer that was offered by Aqua Nicaragua. So this is a big part of our culture and commitment here in CheckFront, is to offer a flexible system that enables customer to scale the business, whether it's scaling the business in one vertical, which is the accommodation, or going horizontally into other verticals and partnering with other business to bring an experience to their customer. So that was quickly what I wanted to touch on. If Scott or any one of you have questions, I will be more than happy to answer them.
Well, I'm going to take back the screen real quick and thank you, first of all, for spending the time with us and showing us more about CheckFront. And you, I'm not sure if you're a global company, I think, but I think your headquarters is up in Victoria, BC. Are you up there, Alex?
Yeah, we are. We have two offices. I am based in Vancouver, BC, and we do have another office in Victoria.
I see. Good. I'm gonna steal back the presenter role, and Steve, I know this was your website that we were looking at, so I'm going to show you that and give you a couple of compliments. And really, I think you're almost there. I would just suggest that you tie this all together and have a contact form giving them incentive to give you their email, make them a nice deal. I thought of coming back to this page because Alex was talking about TripAdvisor, and you can see that I can tell that Steve's been doing a lot of work on his website, and what he's doing, he's got 321 traveler reviews. And I thought, Alex, when you were showing the automatic reply and suggestion that they give a review on TripAdvisor, that this is a good example of that. And Steve, I just make room for a form on here and capture some prospective people that just haven't decided yet. You know, of course, there'll be some that'll book right away, but you want to give the people that are thinking about it and give them a reason to come back, and in a non-spammy way, right? You're not going to send them several things a week, but you'll send them a special that they can't get anywhere else. Or maybe just a list of all the things they can do in town. I think you've got some other things about Albuquerque on here and attractions and so forth, but sometimes they appreciate having it all sent to them in one long list. So I wanted to tie all those things together and then tell everybody that's still here, and we still have a few. Any question that you want to ask while we're still here, go ahead and shoot it. And you're probably wondering, well, how are we going to draw the prizes? I believe that I have everybody's email address, and I'll check with you, Michelle. I can see you're still here. I think you had more than one person that might be watching at the same time, but I'll just make sure we get everybody's name, email in a hat, and then we'll do a drawing. And you know, between what Alex is giving away from CheckFront and what we're giving from Webdirexion, we'll probably get 3 or 4 winners here. So we'll hold for just a second and see if anybody types a question in while you've still got us. Otherwise, we're coming up on the hour, and we'll let everybody go unless you have a question for us. Here we've got one. You see that, Alex?
I do, yes. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
I believe everyone can hear you. Yes.
Very good. So we do have the Google integration in the pipeline. It's quite a lift from a development and technical perspective, but it is on the way.
And that's one of the, I don't know if Steve was thinking of this when he said that, but what we've seen, and I think there was a news report on it, I want to say late summer, where one of the bed and breakfast associations was taking Google to task because unless you had said that you would book through Google, they were putting up a little signal in the search return that said no rooms available. And what they really meant was no rooms available through Google, when in fact there could and probably were rooms available, and it got a lot of people upset. So it's good that you're addressing that, I think, Alex. And Steve, I'm not sure if that was on your mind, but that would be good. I don't think. Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, yeah, just to comment here that yes, there's been a lot of good and bad feedback about Google's meta search functionality. It's still a work in progress, even in-house at Google. There's always new updates, and it's looking better and better. The drawback in it right now is that it pulls feed and availability from third-party OTAs. So as you mentioned, if you're a bed and breakfast or an inn that's not listed on any OTA and your booking system does not integrate to Google Booking, you will show up as not available or no information provided. That's a big concern for a lot of hoteliers, and it's a legitimate concern. Because they're kind of in a certain way they are forcing you to be on a third-party website. If, for example, you're stuck with a booking system that is not integrating with Google Bookings. But as I said, from our side, we got up to speed on it about a month ago. We have a developer currently working on it, and we should have it soon.
So, Alex, while we're on this point, we should probably make clear that the integrations, with standalone software, there may be additional monthly software service fees. For instance, MailChimp that we love is free up to a certain amount, but then if you get more than 2,000 names and you send a certain number of emails a month, then there's a minimal charge. And my allocator comes to mind because there is a fee for it. That's the one where you can integrate all of the different OTAs, but it's very reasonable. I believe it's $17 a month. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And one of the reasons I want to make it clear in the context of what we're discussing now is I think, Alex, you're saying once you get the integration with Google Booking, which was Steve's question, then you would not necessarily have to use My Allocator separately unless you wanted access to all of the other OTAs. But I wonder if My Allocator is going to integrate, or do you know what they're doing about that with Google?
I did not get in touch with them about this subject. I know that they have been upgrading their integration with TripAdvisor recently to take it to the next level, because TripAdvisor have done some changes to the way they are positioning rooms. Yeah, and just to comment about what Steve posted here, that's very true, Steve. When you see the listing, there is a visit the website right away. But what I'm talking about is when you're actually searching hotels and you enter in a check-in date and a checkout date, and you look up hotels. If your availability feed is not linked to Google through an OTA or through your website, you're not going to show up as available in this search. But when it comes to your listing on Google, your website link is always there, as long as you just update your listing with Google. It's very simple. It's a 3-step process.
Steve, I think I talked to, and Michelle may know about this too. In fact, Michelle, it was Rick that's on your board. We had a discussion about the Google thing, and a number of people kind of jumped on them and said, hey, that's not fair. So they may be modifying how they're posting a little bit, Alex. And I think the major problem was in the general search over on the right-hand side. It was saying that maybe Steve has caught them modifying their policy a little bit, but there's still, if you go, Alex, what you were thinking about just now is if you were on a map or a deeper search is where you wouldn't see the event.
If you're on the specifically on the hotels, google.com/hotels, and you're searching for with a check-in and a checkout date.
Yeah, Steve, they may have modified that on a general Google search, but they took a lot of flack for it because they're obviously that was wrong to say that the way they did it. And I know some of the hotel and inn associations jumped on them. Some of the state associations and even the national associations. So hopefully, politically, Google's still the big gorilla, and but hopefully they learned a couple of things there, and that's better for everyone. Michelle says she has to go, and thank you for attending, Michelle. Any last questions, Steve, that you had, or anybody else? Okay, well, we'll thank everybody, and we'll get back to you with the winners. And appreciate your time today, and send us any follow-up comments or questions. Thank you, Alex.
Hey, thanks a lot, everyone, and thanks, Scott, for putting all this together, and thanks to everyone who attended.